And welcome back to another deep dive. Deep dives are a detailed look into one of the garages from my 300 car musical chill out garage tour, which I hope you've seen. It's linked below. But this is for those who want to know a little bit more about the cars, maybe about the build, a photo of the real thing, that sort of thing. So let's dive in. I used my Buffalo S for this next car, which is the Charger SRT8, and I went for this really lovely purple, the Plum Crazy. And I've decided to change towards the end of this series and actually just put the crew colours down in the text below rather than having them mess up the screen every single time. So you'll find every colour I used, if it's a crew colour at least, down below. Without doing more research, I have a feeling that the Buffalo S is based on a later Charger than the one I built this on. But I far prefer the Buffalo S just because there's more options, there's more things you can do with the customization on the car. It is discontinued, but now every platform has the ability for people to buy cars from other people, and this is incredibly late notice, but if you don't have anything to do within a few hours of this video coming out, then at 10 PM GMT tonight I'm going to try a PC car meet. I'm hoping for a very small number of people because it's New Year's Eve, because it's more to test things out, but that would be your first chance to buy something from my collections if you want to. Well, while I was making the Charger into a pretty colour, I also made my Challenger into one. That's the SRT8 based on the Bravado Gauntlet. I went for the Furious Fuchsia, and I know for a fact there's a video out on this which I'll try and link below. There's also a video with both of these cars done in the 100th anniversary edition, which was a subscriber request, and I think the colour came out nice on those, so I'll link that one as well. These pop up all the time on the street, so no need to worry that they are discontinued. Moving on to the Dominator ASP, the first of two in this garage. I did this up as the absolute classic SVT Cobra R. I think Rockstar pretty much intended you to make this. They gave you all the parts. I think it might even be stock wheels, is it, that does this? And of course it looks fantastic. It looks quite close to the real car with the reversal of that vent on the side being the main differentiator. Like so many of my favourite cars in the game, it comes from the Tuning DLC, and they're my favourites because you can do so much to them. There's all the interior options and everything. Really good cars. Now to the 0 to 60 Designs Mustang GTT, or the Dominator GTX. 0 to 60 Designs were a company that decided to take the current gen Mustang and to make it more individual. And they made a really cool looking car. They sort of made a GTA car out of a standard car. Ford didn't like it, and I think that's why you don't really see them around. There was a red one, I think it was, and then there was also this sort of satin grey one, which is what I changed the design to this year. I'm really bored of having it as a 0 to 60 Designs car, so I've had a big search round, and this year it's something else that I think works. You've not seen it yet, but you will do one day. This is one of those cars that has the handling flags that does that stupid stuck on a rev limiter type noise all the time, but it does look really nice. I found out about this next car from a subscriber, David Burkoff. I'd not even heard of this, but a US retailer, GameStop, decided to do a promotion, and as a prize they wanted to give a GTA car. So they got West Coast Customs to make a copy of the Banshee. So we have here the real Banshee, based of course on a Dodge Viper SRT10, and I thought I have to have that in my garage at least 1 year, so that's where this came from. I'm not sure how many people knew what it meant when they read that on there, or whether I was the only ignorant person who had to be told about it, but there we go. The next car, it just makes my heart ache that we don't have muscle cars in the UK very often. You see them now and again. I've seen, I think, the standard Dodge Challenger once about 2 years ago driving through my town. I've never even seen a wide body for real. Anyway, SRT Hellcat Red Eye wide body, one of the better ones I'm sure from my research, and I wanted a unique colour, and I saw this F8, I assume you pronounce it Fate green. I thought that's cool, that's different. I think the colour was from GTAcolours.com. Like all the crew colours, it's in the description. I think the car looks fantastic like this, and you'll see it used in the intro and the outro, and that's because it's the only car in this garage that I haven't yet changed for something else. I'm sure I will. I change most of my cars unless there's a really specific liking of the car, like my Celica rally car, for example, I don't want to change the Castrol livery. Otherwise, I change most things. So it probably will change, but I haven't thought of anything better yet. Now, if you make yourself a 10-car Mustang garage in this game, which I have done and will appear at some point as a little garage tour, you would be most remiss, I would say, if at least 4 out of 10 of those weren't Shelbys. I mean, Shelby and the Mustang, they go together like jam and toast, don't they, really? So here's one based on a Mustang GT500KR by Shelby. And what I really like with the Dominator that you can steal from the street, or buy for cheap because it's a basis for an arena war car, is with the primary and the secondary. It's amazing the sort of different special editions you can actually evoke on this free car. And again, I think this has worked pretty well here. The next 2 cars featured in a comparison video about do you want to buy the C8 or the C7 Corvette in the game, considering one costs 11 times the cost of the other. Looking at my list, this is apparently a crew colour for Grabber Blue, but I'm pretty sure that Ultra Blue basically makes the colour for you. I'll put the hex down below anyway. I really like having this car in my collection, and I quite enjoy driving it, but the honest truth is I do prefer the C7 that we're going to move on to next. I just think it's a slightly nicer driving car. So here is the C7, the standard Coquette, discontinued unfortunately, so again is one to buy from somebody at a car meet or when it next comes up for sale. And it really is one to buy if you don't have it. It was a very inexpensive car with good performance, fantastic looks, plenty of customizability, is that a real word? To build a standard car, the R1 as here. You can build some of the Hennessy ultra fast models on it. Really worth having in your collection. Now obviously this colour is a crew colour to try and get the really bright one that I know Top Gear tested in their magazine. And the hex is below, but yes, get one of these off somebody if you possibly can. On to the last car. Now if you're making Shelbys and Hennessys, that sort of car in your garage, you're definitely going to make a Saleen Mustang as well, are you not? And happily I was able to fairly reasonably recreate this specific S281SC, what a snappy name, here on this car. It looks good, a little bit more subtle with just a small spoiler at the back. And I think it's a rather interesting thing to make, especially if you're into the very clean builds, the slightly more understated builds. I think this works really, really well. I don't have a colour written down. I think it's the metallic dark blue with either a race or an ultra blue pearl. And that completes the last of the muscle garages from this summer's full garage tour. There's only 3 left now. There's the armoured vehicles, there's the utility and emergency section, and it would be the classics to round up the deep dive series. And there'll never be another deep dive for the simple reason that any tours I do from now on you will have seen in the past. I'm adding the photo at the time, I'm adding the crew colour at the time. But of course if you ever want more details on a car, usually they're easy to Google, but you can also ask me. I hope this garage has given you some inspiration for things to do with your own muscle cars. But remember, if you're in doubt, Google the words Saleen, Hennessy, even Tuna might work, Shelby of course, Calway, along with the real name of your favourite car. Hit a Google image search and you will be inundated with cars, a number of which you'll find that you can build. And really that's what I have to do. I see so few of these on the street that it's just not true. In fact, some of them I've simply never had the chance to see. Woe is me. Anyway, of course, if you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe if you like real cars in GTA. And I'd like to take this chance to wish everybody a really happy new year, happy 2024. Doesn't matter if you see this just before or just after, because the sentiment's the same. Hope you have a really great year. And we'll keep the muscle theme going for at least another day into 2024, because there's a very brief video tomorrow on the Black Jade Mustang, so be there for that one. I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.